If you're the type that prays and things don't happen, this is for you. You remember when you were a child, you would ask your parent for something and you are very specific. Dad, I want a sweet mzuri, if you are Kenyan. Dad, I want a patco. You remember those who grew up like us with patco. There's a white sweet, it was called patco. Dad, I want a KSL. 3 things here I need you to understand. And before I say, in the Christian Bible, it tells you, honor your father and mother so that your days will be added, right? When you're talking to God, God does not just look at what you're saying. He also looks at what you're doing. Point number 1. What do I mean here? You're the type that has been praying and asking for things, but you're not specific. So you want rent. How much rent? You want to live in a certain place. Then everybody is always praying. I want to, God, I want to move into a nicer neighborhood. Which nicer neighborhood? Be specific. Be specific. And then, what you're asking for, are you ready for it? Because whatever it is you're doing, the same way your parent would look at you and you ask for something, they would look at whether you're ready for that thing. So they decide whether to give it to you or not. It's the same way God is looking at you and they're like, this one is not ready for this. So you don't get it. Number 2, God looks at you and actually says, my son, my daughter, you have been praying, yes. But every time I give you something, you go squander it. Why do you expect him to continue giving you those things again and again and again if every time you squander it? The same way your parents would give you a simple thing like a pencil. Yeah, those of us who grew up and you, when you get a HB pencil, it was a big deal. Hey, it was a big deal. When you get that HB pencil, even your own father or your mother would look at the way you take care of it for some time to see whether when you ask for that, you remember the mathematical set, this blue one, what was it called? There was a red one and then a blue one, Oxford. When you got that one, you had money, you came from a good place. But even when you got the one that was cheaper, they would see, how are you taking care of this thing? So that they know when they buy you this other one, you will take care of it. Number 3, stop looking at God. This one is for all of you. Stop looking at God like just something. I don't even understand how you look at God. You ask for small things. When you ask God for things, shock yourself also. Shock yourself. Ask for things that sometimes you look at and you're like, how will I even get this? You want to travel abroad. You don't even know where the money is coming from. You don't even have a passport yet. Ask for it. Ask for, tell God, I want to go here and go do this. I don't have a passport. I don't know where the money is going to come from, but I want to go there. Shock yourself. So that when you ask, God looks at you and is like, okay, I see this, my daughter, my son. This is going to happen. Okay, take it. And then when you get that thing, please remember, because when we get things, we always forget. There was a time I did not have basic things like this throw blanket. There was a time I didn't have it. There was a time I didn't have this house. There was a time I didn't have this car. There was a time I didn't have these kids. There was a time I didn't have this man. There was a time I didn't have this lady who loves me. You forget. And you wonder why every time God gives you something, he looks at you and he's like, when you ask for something else, he's like, no, not now. Not now. Same way look at the way you want to understand God. It has taken me years to understand some of these things. Look at the way you used to deal with your parents when you asking for things. It's the same exact way. You would not just get things just because you've asked for them. And if you grew up in a family where, fortunately, whatever you asked for, you are the only child, so you got everything. Oh, unto you. Oh, unto you. When you reach a certain age and now you have to get things by yourself and realize, I actually have to work. I actually have to work. It hits you because you are used to, Baba, shika, Baba, take this. Mama, just have it. It's okay. Now you're dealing with God. You have to prove something. God does not just give you things and then just sit there and like, let him have it. No. And if you're keen, here some people I know, they understand what I mean here. If you're keen in your life, right now there are things that are going on through in your mind that are actually telling you facts. They're actually telling you facts that I have seen God doing this and this and this. I have seen when I got this, this happened. When I got this other thing, this happened. When I messed up here, this was taken away from me. When I started drinking like crazy, this started happening. You know, we just don't want to accept and look at the realities of how things happen. We just want to sit back, pray all the time, pray this day, pray this. Identify these things. And by God's grace, let me tell you, you will be getting things and you'll be looking at your life. You see, when people talk about grace and joy and fulfillment, most of the times, those of you who've had money before and you have money now, most of the times, it is not the money. It is the way you live, the people you surround yourself with, the things that money will buy for you. That is what you want. That is the experience you want. That is what you feel God has blessed you with. You're making millions, it's good. So when you're making the millions, you're in that car, that you feel it is raining, it's pouring outside, you feel good because it's not affecting you as much as before when you didn't have it. When you're in a nice house, when you did remember a day you didn't have it. You grew up in a place where you had very bad houses, very bad conditions of living, but now you have it. So now you remember. When you have this good thing, you remember. You enjoy it because you remember, because you tell God thank you for, there's a time I didn't have this, now I have it, so thank you. Okay,